Recruiter here, the headless headhunter, getting you ahead of your job search in this recession by reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a full stack developer, which is probably one of the most common resumes I review. And what we're looking for in a full stack dev is, let's see if I can say it in one breath, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, GraphQL, SQL, React.js, API, RESTful API, Cloud, Agile, CI/CD, cross-functionally, .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for architecture, extra language, Git, or DevOps. Yes, did it. So we are looking for all of that. Then I need at least 75% of that to move you forward. So can I find it in 20 seconds, which is how long every recruiter has to review a resume? And let's go. This is an abomination. I hate how this looks. Okay, nothing here can be used. Okay, LLM. LLM. I mean, yeah, that's nice, but where's the actual full stack? This is all LLMs. Angular, okay, Node, RESTful API, those are things I'm actually looking for. Yeah, that's it. I could not find it in that time. So, that would be a definite no. That would be a yeet. I would yeet this into the trash, unfortunately. So, let's see what this person wrote to me and what their actual ratio is, and if every other recruiter agrees to that. And by the way, the ratio for new people is the how you tell how good your resume is. If your resume is getting 1 interview per 50 job applications, it's about a C-, right? Like that would be the grade of your resume. Could it be better? Yes, but it could also be a lot worse. And anything over 150 applications to a single interview is a nightmare, and you probably need to destroy the resume and redo it. So, not counting November, December, because things get weird in recruiting during November, December. Your ratios don't count during November, December. So, this person said they applied to 1,000 jobs and only ended up with 2 screening rounds and 2 interviews. So basically, their ratio is like 500 to 1, which is pretty bad. And not terribly shocking, considering what this looks like. I still didn't land the job. I was wondering why my resume gets an automated mail within seconds that they regret to inform me, because we can't find it in 20 seconds. You just saw I found like 3 things in 20 seconds. This is a terrible resume. This is very, very bad. It is garbage. That doesn't mean you are garbage. I want to be clear. Your resume does not reflect who you are as a person. It just reflects how you are showing your qualifications to the hiring team, whether they be recruiter or hiring manager. You are not garbage. You are a human and you deserve good stuff. Your resume, though, is garbage and deserves pain. Those are 2 separate things. So they wanted to get a review. They like your videos being very informative, and thank you for the review. So, the biggest problem is this is just a giant wall of text that tells me nothing, right? Like, if I'm looking for a full stack dev, and I actually am doing those searches about, like, at the time of this video, I don't need most of this stuff. Like, is it good that you have AI and LLM? Yeah, that's nice. That's pretty hot here. Like, hot right now at the current market. But that's, like, garnish on a food dish, right? Like, I like using food metaphors because everybody has to eat. So, like, if you go to a restaurant that's well known for their steak, and you go there and you're like, well, I guess the fries were really good, but I didn't go there for fries, I went there for steak. This is the problem with your resume, is I'm not here for the LLM. The LLM is a bonus. It is extra credit. You cannot pass on extra credit alone. So, yeah, it's bad. So this can be deleted. Again, summaries and skill sections are not needed except in like very, very few specific spaces. I would say like 95% of people do not need a summary and do not need a skill section. Your resume should look like this. This is the format I tell people to use because it's good. I swear to you, I've been a recruiter for a very long time and people use this and other recruiters go, oh my gosh, your resume is perfect. This is why. This boring, basic snooze fest of a resume is amazing. It's amazing. I swear, this is what recruiters want. We want it to look like this. I don't care if you're a barista, a software engineer, or a marketing intern. You want your resume to look like this. Except if you're a director. Director levels actually do need a different resume. But, so... And that's the thing, I can't find any of this stuff, right? Like, I'm not keyword matching. People think we keyword match, and the reason I'm not keyword matching is if I was keyword matching, I could use this, but I can't. I have to have this stuff in here, and you need to describe how you used it and the reason or result of using it. If you do not do that, I cannot move you forward. So that is one of the big problems with this resume. It fails on a formatting front, and it fails on a content front. And I know you put time into this to try to show me how impressive you are, right? Like, partnered in a system-wide service refactor to modernize legacy components and improve API performance and ensure high availability across distributed systems, right? That sounds impressive, but I don't care that it's impressive. I care that you've actually done it and it's the minimum qualifications, right? That's all I'm looking for. That is not this. And I'm going to give you an example of what a bad sentence is. If anybody knows, they may not know, for the record, I played League of Legends for a while, and I'm going to write to you in a League of Legends metaphor of what your entire resume shows. So remember, I am looking for this. This is a bad sentence. Your resume says, when I play bot, I like to use Jinx because it's easier to get CS and I can rush an IE. Cool. What does that mean? I don't know. What's bottom? I don't know. Who's Jinx? Why are they related? Why is it easier to get CS? Why do you need CS? And what is rushing an IE? None of that makes any sense. That is what your resume sounds like. How I would rewrite that, if for some reason the job required you to have League of Legends knowledge, is instead would be this. When I go to the bottom lane in the video game, okay, so now I know if this is a section of a video game. I may not know why it is bottom lane particular, but I know it's a section of a video game. In that video game is League of Legends. I pick the character Jinx. Okay, Jinx is a character in a video game. Most people have enough understanding to know that video games have characters. As she has an easier time getting gold, CS, well, I don't know exactly why she needs that, but I do know what gold is from minions, which allows me to buy the item Infinity Edge faster. Oh, so the reason you are getting gold from these minions is to buy an item in a video game faster. Cool. Do you know why you would do that? No. Is that meta? Probably not. I haven't played like 3 years. I got plat twice and that's it. So, but this is how I want you to write your sentences. And remember, I need these to be written like that. And you can even like switch it off, right? Like you could say, all you need to say is design an integrated or designed a full stack website using TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, and HTML in an AWS environment. Then the next sentence can be like, used React, Angular, Next.js, and SQL, and RESTful APIs to do blah, 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 blah. That is why you are failing, is your resume entirely sounds like that bad sentence from League of Legends. That is what it sounds like. This is what you wrote. You wrote this like 80 times on your resume. So stop trying to impress us. We're not going to be impressed. It doesn't matter because we don't understand it. Sorry, so that's all that matters is you write the actual qualifications that we want, which are these, and that goes for every industry, not just software engineering. And that's all I can do for this resume because it fails at both a content and a formatting way. So if you need more help, you can always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST and rarely Saturdays. And I go over this more and can give more in-depth hints and tips than I can in a YouTube video. But for everybody else, like, comment, and subscribe, and let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of a data engineer. I almost said scientist, and that was not correct. So what we're looking for in a data engineer is Python, ETL or ELT. ETL is extract, transform, and load, and I actually have no idea what ELT is. Maybe it's extract, load, and transform? I don't know. It's very rare that I see it, but they were asking for either of those, so having one of them is fine. Scala, data, algorithm, SQL, big data, so Kafka, Spark, Hadoop, and probably a couple of others as well. Cloud, data X, and by that I mean like data models, data lakes, data analytics, data from Star Trek, every single type of data. Snow, either Snowflake, Snowpipe, Snowsite. Again, it could be any of those. And the ability to manage and communicate data plans to non-technical people. You need to be able to talk to people that do not know how to turn on their monitor. That is not hyperbolic. I'm not joking. Your job as a data engineer will be to talking to people that do not know how to turn on their monitor, and you have to explain all of it to them in a way that makes sense to them. Then industry, so basically like if it's healthcare or software development or aerospace or whatever, and then a bonus for DevOps, Jira, Confluence, MS, and Office. I cannot be in every industry, so there are probably a couple of industry-specific terms that I'm going to miss, and that is, unfortunately, gonna happen. So 20 seconds, can I find it? That's all we have. Also, if people are wondering, 20 seconds to review a resume is the most accurate version of what a recruiter will do to your resume. I've had a couple of people ask me, Lee, can you show us what it's really like? And it's literally just 20 seconds, and we try to find those. This is it. This is the actual thing of what we really do. That's all the time we have. So go. Okay, RESTful API I don't care about. Postgre I do. No, I don't, because you didn't say SQL. CI/CD might count. Again, that might be industry. ETL, good. Python, good. AI is a nice to have, so that's not against you. And nothing. That's it. There we go. That's all I found. So would this move forward? No. It's very dense. And I honestly did not find most of what I needed. Like, I found Python. I assume Postgres is PostgreSQL, but I'm actually looking for the SQL, not the Postgres. And I'm probably mispronouncing that as well. So, what did this person say? They said, hey, I love the work you were doing and appreciate the insights. I am glad to help. I am looking for data engineer roles. Will be graduating in June 2026. So I made a data engineer specific one. So, first off, I am going to let you know that if you apply this early, you will be rejected for a large amount of jobs. It is true that some jobs for entry-level roles will hire this far in advance. Right now, it is middle of October, and this person is applying for a role that is in 8 months. And some companies do that. The problem is the vast majority of them don't. So the bigger the company, the higher probability they will of doing that. Like Fang definitely probably does that. Probably like Fortune 100 companies or something do that. But most of the other ones that if you cannot start within about 3 months, they will not move you forward. So if you get rejected from a lot of smaller like companies, don't be too shocked, because that is why. You should still apply, because you unfortunately can't really tell how far off in advance they're hiring from a job posting, but don't break your spirit because of that. So what I would do to fix this is, quite frankly, this. Like, the problem is this does not really have what I am looking for. So I'm going to assume that CI/CD may actually be something of industry specific, and maybe AI would. But the problem is, if you can see, I don't find anything else here. Right? Like, also the formatting is not great. Could be a lot worse, to be clear, but could be a lot better. In fact, I can even show you this real quick of what your formatting likes versus what, well, your formatting is. So I'm going to pull this up real quick. So this is from a previous resume. This is my formatting, which is 10.5 Arial and 1.5 spacing. So right there. This is 10.5 Arial with 1.15 spacing. And if you can notice, this is harder to read than this. So you did 1.15, you need to do 1.5. Also, you need to remove these lines. This is much harder to read. Second, and this is more important than the actual formatting, is you have like nothing I need for a data engineer, right? Like ETL is good, right? That is something that I'm looking for. I'm going to take it out when I find it. So I'm just going to remove the stuff that I found. Not looking for anything here. Not looking for anything here. I'm going to give you a benefit and assume maybe CI/CD is the since that is software, that is counting as an industry. So we found 2 things so far, and I'm counting this down here. Then we find Python. Okay, good. And Kubernetes, we're not looking for. Docker, we're not looking for. You said PySpark, not Spark. And it's very possible that the recruiter may not know that that is equivalent to Spark. In fact, it may not be. I may be incorrect about that. Then nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, nothing here, and then nothing here. Again, you did the industry right. This is a industry qualification, so that's pretty good. Then we have SQL all the way down here, assuming they are even going to read that for, because you're formatting and how dense this is. And that's it. Yeah, cloud. But again, they may not get to cloud. So if you noticed, I went all the way down to here, and I only found like 4 things. And there's still quite a lot on that list. Did you say anything about stakeholders? No, you didn't. So that's part of your problem. And in fact, this will be your main problem, is the content is not what I'm looking for, right? Like, people try to impress me. They're trying to say, like, I did security for the 50 plus stakeholders, resulting in a 38 improvement in redshift latency across the business unit. Cool. I don't really care. I'm just looking to see if you did. Actually, you may have done Scala and I missed it. If you're doing like algorithms and data models and data lakes and Snow. In fact, there was here, let me tell you a real story that happened. So I was recruiting for a data engineer. I think it was actually a data engineer. It was somebody that was going to deal with data lakes. So it may have been a data lake engineer. It may have been a data engineer. And I presented 3 resumes to the manager. And this was a good manager. I want to be clear. People loved working for them. They are great. They were responsive. This is not a dig at the manager. And I presented those 3 resumes, and they said, well, Lee, I mean, they look whatever, but, like, they don't have data lake. And I said, well, let me go back and ask them. He's like, I mean, if you would have it on your resume, like, if you've done data lake, you would know that this is impressive. And he's like, not so. So I went back and I asked them how many years of experience they had with data lake. And one of them did not have anything, so they were, in fact, rejected. The other 2, one had 3.5 years, one had 5 years, and of those 2, one of them got the job. So the only reason they got the job is because I went back and double-checked with them because they did not put data lake because they thought it was too basic and boring. But the problem is the basic and boring qualifications get you the job. So you are focusing on, like, ML models and fire safety metrics and a poster at ICPP and fusion rank algorithms when all they're looking for is the basic stuff. Your resume is a minimum qualification document. And I have found a lot of other hiring managers that are technical, that have been doing it for 15 years, that are fantastic, still want the basic stuff. You impress them in the interview. You don't impress us with the resume. That's not what resumes are for. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of, I don't know, you need to tell me what kind of software engineer you're going for. All this person put in is it takes them about 100 applications to get a single interview, and that's it. Well, that's not good. That means the resume is bad. But I also don't know what they are. And if you cannot tell, a Java developer is going to have different qualifications of what I'm looking for than a Python developer, than a full stack developer, than a front-end developer, than a Ruby on Rails developer, than a COBOL engineer, right? I've never actually recruited for COBOL, obviously. But, like, you need to tell me what you are. So my goal is to find out if I can, using my tech knowledge, which again is I've been a tech recruiter. That's one of the big things that I've done. And I've taught other recruiters how to recruit in tech, and my ratio of like applicants to offers and the volume of them are increased than the average recruiter. So the long-winded way of telling you that I am actually good at tech recruitment. I am above average in it. Am I the best? Probably not. There's definitely people that are better in it, but I am definitely above average and a net benefit to it. So if I can't find it, well, no, then you're really, really going to have an issue. So 20 seconds. What are you? Okay, full stack. Maybe you're full stack. Again, I can't use anything here. Okay, so you are full stack. We already did full stack. I kind of remember it. API, nothing. UI is a bonus. Angular is one. Java is nice to have as a bonus. That's it. Cool. That's it. That's all you get. That's all I have. So I'm assuming this is a full stack dev. I don't even know if I need to give you all of the qualifications here because you met practically none of them, right? Like, this is what I want for a full stack. And I found nothing. Again, I cannot use anything here. It has to be here. So, and then this is a technology support technician, which isn't really related. But then you're a senior full stack dev? Okay, well, I guess 3 years could be senior. Tech moves fast. But yeah, that's the big problem, is this has nothing, right? And that's not much I can do with this because there's nothing here. This is the problem. This is the most important part of your resume, besides your contact information. That contact information is the most important part. So delete all of this and wrap them into here, okay? Like, I don't care that you improved API efficiency by up to 80% and increased your tech coverage from 40 to over 80 while reducing cable, so that doesn't matter. No one's asking for that, right? Even if they have you do that, even if that is the exact need of the hiring manager, they're not going to say that in the job description. They're going to say like 3 years of JavaScript, right? 2 years of full stack development, that TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, SQL, Cloud. That's it. This is nothing. This is, again, almost an entirely blank piece of paper. So switch it to this, and you should probably keep both of these. These are different enough that you should definitely keep them. But yeah, this is your problem, is you tell me nothing. All you tell me is that you've used APIs, which again is something I'm looking for, but I need 75% to move you forward, and that's all I can. I don't see it. In fact, I don't even see all of it in here. I need this stuff to be in here. This is where you actually write that. And if you didn't do it here, then I need to see it in the projects. Again, we're not keyword matching. If I was keyword matching, I would just be able to do Control F and be like TypeScript. Boom. There, it shows up. But I can't. I have to see how you used it and the reason and result of you using it. Otherwise, it doesn't count. So, next resume. This is a Java backend engineer. Thank you so much for telling me what you actually are. I really appreciate it. So for a Java backend engineer, what I'm looking for is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, SQL, RESTful APIs, microservices, OOP, Git, other APIs, Maven, Cloud, architecting, SDLC, MongoDB, extra credit for Kafka, full stack, Agile, CI/CD, Hibernate, DevOps, and Docker. This person, I don't know the ratio yet, so let's see if I can find it. This is in India. I am a US-based recruiter. I have to go by the US-based qualifications. These might not be the same in India, and that's unfortunately the truth. My advice, while mostly translating to other countries, does not always translate. So, let's go with this. Okay. Java, good. Spring Boot's to AWS. RESTful API is good. Spring Boot, we already did. Object-oriented design is fine. CI/CD pipelines. Actually, okay. Is there anything here I'm really missing? I mean, the font is a nightmare to read. So let me see what I found here, right? So we found Cloud. That's good. We found OOP. Although you did not say... Well, no, you said OOD, which is Object-Oriented Design. That may be different, so I'm not going to count that. Maybe it isn't, but you did not write it the way I needed it to. You did say RESTful APIs, you did say Spring Boot, and you did say Java, and that's it. So is this enough to move forward? No, but it's not terrible. I mean, you need to fix the... You absolutely need to fix the formatting, but it's not the worst. All right, so what did you actually tell me? I said 150 plus applications, been applying from January this year, no interview calls from India. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you are applying in India. If you are in India and applying to the United States and you do not have a work authorization to work in the United States, your resume is irrelevant. It does not matter how good your resume is. It does not matter how bad your resume is. If you cannot answer the question of, are you legally authorized to work in the United States with a yes, you will not be moved forward. That is a legal requirement. There is a reason that every single job has that up front, is we cannot hire you if that is not the case. Unfortunately. So, assuming you're applying in India, the things I would be missing is primarily like Spring. I know you said Spring Boot, but they may not know that Spring Boot is Spring, or vice versa, or maybe it isn't. Here. Nope, this is Spring Core. Okay. But your formatting is bad, right? Like, this is easy to read. This, I kind of have to go in and a little bit squint to try to, like, figure it out. And then when I actually am getting this far down, I don't see some of the other stuff I would need, like SQL, microservices, OOP, other APIs I think you did have down here, Maven, SDLC, architecting, MongoDB. So that's part of your problem, is you just don't have enough, right? It's not bad, but it's not great either. And another issue is you focused entirely on, like, processed 1,000 daily email transactions. Why do I care about that? Applying solid principles and reducing vendor costs by $45K a year. Why do I care about that? Like, I get that it's impressive, right? But you keep trying to impress me. That is one of the biggest mental failures that people have, is they keep trying to impress people with the resume. They're trying to say, like, I saved money. I, did a lot of emails. And the fact is, it doesn't matter. They're not asking you to do that. This may even get you rejected on the spot if this is a bigger company. Is $45,000 a year a lot? Depends on the company. For a small mom-and-pop boutique, yeah. For a large company, no. In fact, a large company in the U.S., your salary will probably be more than $45K a year. So if you start off with that, all you're telling me as a recruiter is that you did not pay for your own salary. So you cannot just start doing these brags, right? Like, improved global loading times by 40%. I'm not looking for a global loading time engineer. I'm looking for a Java developer or a Java software engineer. I'm not looking for a feature parity engineer across mobile platforms. I'm looking for microservices, Git, and Maven. So you have misunderstood what people are wanting, and that is the problem. In addition, if you are applying in the U.S. and you don't have a work authorization, then, again, nothing on this page matters because you could not move forward anyway. There's a lot of people that assume you can just, like, it's a remote role, I can just do. No, this is why there are remote roles from specific states, is even within the United States, there are tax reasons that a company may not be able to have you work remotely in another area of the U.S., get alone outside of it. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume that docs themselves. Stop doxing yourselves. We did pretty well. We went to like 4 or 5 without it, but stop doxing yourselves. I cannot scroll past this page now because you did not read the instruction and remove your name. So, and phone number and email. One person wrote me like their social, and I'm like, I do not need that. That is not getting shown. I cannot show anything. So, what do we need in a project? So, here's a bit of an issue, right? This person said entry-level project management. To my understanding, entry-level project management is actually more of a project coordinator than a project manager. The qualifications are mostly the same, I will be honest, but there's the scope is different. So, I hope this is correct, and the person whose resume this is can, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what we're going to be looking for, is the project coordinator, because that is the entry-level version of a project manager, kind of. So, unless you have like a PMP or something, but let's go. So what we need is multitasking, organizational skills, industry, Microsoft Office, Google Workspace, Jira, Smartsheets, Jira, I said that twice, Excel, MS Project, Outlook, proactive problem solving, client customer stakeholder interaction, bonus for admin support, Capum, Asana, Trilio, and MS Project. So away we go. Can I find it? Don't need this. So much here I can barely read it. All right, don't need that. I do need this. Top performer percentage. That one's okay, actually. Maintain quality by tracking and limiting defects 1 per month. Audit trail, outgoing items, typical client package. It's actually kind of qualified. That's not bad. I was expecting this to be garbage, but no, this might actually be more of a formatting issue than anything. Those are at least close to what I would want. This would get me to read a little bit more if I could get to this point. So what did this person say? They said they have a 1 in 25 ratio. I don't know if that's accurate because, again, they did not read my instructions. And if they do not read the instructions and not doxing themselves, I do not know if I can trust their ratio. They're also looking for entry-level analysis such as operations analyst. Those are different jobs. So first off, remove this. Second off, remove this. Third, write this a little cleaner. This is actually not bad. You can keep the academic honors. So this should be 1 line, and then this should be another line, maybe even 2 because of the amount you have. And it should go under this, right? So it'll be this is a bullet point, and then your honors will be a next bullet point under that. Then we get to the actual stuff here. This is not terrible. So what do I like about this? Well, this is an easily understandable goal. Not the 10%, but you were recognized as a top performer by surpassing monthly goals and maintaining perfect quarterly attendance, encompassing taking a lead in identifying patterns. So again, identifying patterns would actually be problem solving. So that's actually pretty good. Driving the improvement initiatives. So you need to rewrite this and make it easier to read, but like you can't just say recognize. In fact, this might want to be a different bullet point alone, because again, I need to know what you do, and I don't fully know what you do. All I know is that you identified patterns to drive process improvements, which is what they're looking for, but I still want to know what you did as this person. Maintain quality standards by tracking and limiting defects to only one per month. Is that good? I don't know. You don't even need the only one per month. In fact, this would be better if you just remove this and just say limiting defects through audit trail reviews of outgoing items, including HIPAA, which again, industry, that's pretty good, while also preparing client packages. So again, your resume is worse. Your resume is worse off because you tried to brag here, right? Like, all you had to say was surpassing monthly productivity goals. But because you wrote this number, it's a little bit worse. Down here, because you wrote this number, it's worse. You don't have to tell me. It's fine. Just say that you did it and you can prove it in the interview. That's all. Entered and organized large volume of data to digitize reconciliation and billing reports. Okay. What else did you tell me, by the way? No, nothing else. All right. So this is a resume that has so bad formatting, but the content actually isn't bad. I need more stuff, right? Because you did have the thing that I deleted down here, so proactive problem solving, that's good. It does seem like you did clients maybe, but I can't tell. Yeah, client packages, so that's good. But this is where you can put in like MS Office, Smartsheets, Jira, that kind of stuff. And I don't really see the multitasking organizational skills. Again, it's not terrible. I want to be clear. It's just your formatting and how dense these bullet points are make it hard to read. So it's highly likely they may not even get to the part where they need. So that's all I can do for this one. You need to redo the formatting, but I like most of the bullets. You just have to remove the numbers. Like, again, you don't need to tell me 12 out of 18%-ish. Because, you know what? Let me back this up. I think I want to be clear on this one. Project managers do need to tell me their numbers. The problem is these are not the numbers that I would be looking for. What I would be looking for is how many projects you managed, right? And I don't care that you processed transactions exceeding 10 million a month. I care how much your overall budget was for your projects. So a good bullet point would be like managed 13 separate data analysis projects with a combined budget of $12 bajillion, right? That actually is a good use of numbers, but recognize as top performer by 110% or process transactions exceeding 10 million a month. That's not really what I'm looking for as much. So I want, when you do numbers, because you may need to as a project coordinator, project manager, is I need you to tell me like the numbers of how many things you've done, not bragging. Because remember, the bragging stuff actually makes it worse. During the interview, oh yeah, you show how good you are. But during the resume, that's not what you want to do. So let's go to the next resume. And please stop doxing yourself. It makes it harder for me to actually help you. This is a resume of a quality assurance analyst, kind of. So this really is an industry-specific one because like if you're doing software versus medical stuff versus a bunch of other stuff. So this is primarily a little bit of a mix, but which is not good, I'll be honest, but most of this is like software testing kind of thing. So for specifically like software Q&A testing, we're going to need Q&A, industry. I should probably add Jira there as well to this. So let's add Jira. I found Jira down below. So Jira, industry, SQL, APIs, SDLC, writing clear test cases, agile testing, automation failure, Excel, Google Sheets, CI tools like Jenkins or TeamCity, clarifying data mapping, transformation logic, edge cases to normal non-tech people. So again, the problem is I'm not sure those are correct. Normally these are correct. These may not be because this is so divided based on the industry that you are in that it might have an issue. So take these with a grain of salt. But can I find them in 20 seconds? Maybe. So stories, dev output for app maker, Jira. Okay, good. Test rail. Maybe that's something I need, but no. SDLC, API is good. Subject matter expert is okay, and that's it. That's all I found. So, No, I don't think that would pass. And based on how you wrote these, even if these are wrong and they're not what we're looking for, these are very vague bullet points with almost nothing in them. So I imagine that this is a bad ratio, which I think it is. Yes. So this person has over 150 applications to one interview, and they said, trying to target a senior QA, mostly manual focused position, very rarely even get screenings. I've adjusted my title in my last position from lead to senior to try to match more of these postings. I mean, that's not really as relevant, as I not only do not enjoy management tier, but I do not think you're great at managing full-time. That's fair. That's pretty healthy that you recognize that. But I have seen you say that overqualified candidates will get bumped quickly. Yeah. And I don't know how to get around that when my last position alone was 10 years, having rewritten and gotten help, rewriting this thing numerous times, running out of need help. Okay. So here's a couple of problems with this. A, your formatting is bad. This is like nothing. Okay. This resume is practically gone. Again, I need these things here. I would also recommend you find your own qualifications. My guide on my website tells you how. It's pretty easy once you know what you're doing. Yours should be more accurate than mine, but you need to switch to this formatting. A more critical issue is this is where a summary would shockingly help. So one of the very few reasons you want a summary is if you are changing like industries. And in this case, you're not changing industries, you're going sort of back. So what you might want to say is looking to get back into like staff one instead of management, right? So basically you let them know, I don't want to manage people. I am looking specifically to get back to working with my hands. And that is something you can do on a little, very quick summary. You don't even have to say like summary, just says like, looking to join as an IC as management is not for me. Right? That's okay. Second off, so I guess third, because your formatting was first, is these are very not enough detail, right? Like you don't really tell me enough. You have this stuff here, which I also still probably couldn't use. And even if these are wrong, again, you don't really have enough of what you're saying, right? Like verified functional and non-functional user stories and dev team output for bespoke app maker. Okay, so it's an app. That makes sense. Where I documented findings in Jira and Azure, closed tickets as applicable. That's not what I'm really looking for. Jira, yeah, maybe Azure. But I want you to say, see, do they even care if you verified user stories? Because that wasn't what I was really saying. They want to know about test cases. Right? Like, in charge of our whole Q&A analyst of our apps by documenting findings in Jira/Azure, closing tickets, and doing X and Y. Like, I need to know what you do. You don't tell me. You just said app development. Extracted and formalized test cases and manual scripts to test rail according to user story requirements. That's okay. Yeah, everything here is off. Supported end-to-end testing for all phases of wide range variety. Again, like, I want more. And the problem is I can't help you enough because I don't know what these are. I would recommend you go onto my stream. We can find it together. Just let me know that, hey, you know, you weren't able to find these beforehand. I will give you a redo because I don't like doing bad work. And unfortunately, without finding this, I can't super help. But your, like, also, where's your degree? I don't see a degree here. Maybe you don't have one, and that's okay. But yeah, there's so much stuff here that I just don't know. It's practically, you try to condense it too much. And I'm trying to figure out a way to describe this to you. So give me 1 second, because like my brain is knowing the problem. It's hard for me to explain this one. And okay, now I've got it. So if I told you I'm a recruiter, you say, hey, Lee, what's a recruiter do? I'd say, I work for a company to fill a job. Or like, okay, well, how do you do that? I talk to candidates. Okay, well, how do you talk to candidates? A lot. That's kind of what your resume is it's you don't tell me the how you did it and the reason and result of you doing it. All you're doing is telling me the what. And that's part of the problem. So, I don't know what these apps did. Again, and also the font is a little off, but that's fine. But like utilize Charlie Postman for testing and validation of what products? Supported end-to-end testing all its for automation mobile and web applications. Okay, that one's okay. Research bug reports or performed root cause analysis, ensured reproducibility. Why is that important? I don't know. So come onto the channel. I will do what I can to help you because we need to find these. I can at least teach you how to do it. But for somebody with close to 9 years of experience in this, I don't have enough information on what you do. Like, it feels like I've read 8 to 9 bullet points and I still barely know anything about you. So let's go to the next resume. This person is a project manager who completely docks themselves, so please don't. In fact, the previous person before this, I actually cannot review. There is an occupational health therapist, you know who you are, who sent me a review that had their phone number in the top left and their references phone number in the bottom left. And to be clear, there is no way for me to show that on the screen without fully doxing you, and thus I cannot do it. So please, please, stop doing that. Please stop doxing yourselves. It is hurting you. I need you to read the instructions on my website where it tells you not to do that. So, in addition, you should not put people's phone numbers, other people's phone numbers on your resume anyway. If we ask for a reference, we can ask for a reference. Just have a sheet of paper that you can give them at that point. So, what we're looking for in a project manager is details about how and why you did X, how did you make things happen compared to how you did things, PMP, CSM, customer, stakeholder, agile, industry, team members, matrix, cross-functional, number of projects, budgets, multitask, how did you use the resources for success, how did you solve the problems and influence people, and Jira, Confluence, and MS Project. So let's see if I can find it. All right. Nothing here that I need. Project manager, 40-minute project. That's actually really good. Trusted with sustaining 87 million or 5-year. I actually really like that. It tells me what you do. That don't understand that. Using steam generator transformers. Again, too much money focused. Yeah, okay. So this does not work. You actually had me in the first sentence, which was good. This is a good use of numbers. Okay? This is how I like numbers in a resume. This is good. Appointed as a project manager for a $4 million power generation project under this company, and you tell me exactly what it is, entrusted with sustaining 87 million annual revenue over a 5-year horizon through operational commercials. Excellence. I don't care about the excellence, but this tells me what you do, right? This tells me exactly it. This is the number of the projects. This is the budget. It's not multitask. This tells me like what you did. I love this. This is a fantastic resume. The next part is garbage. Handpicked by the CEO to steal turnaround of 4 HFO power plants despite 0 prior plant experience, lifted fleet availability, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't know what that is. Developed a custom enterprise app using, okay, so it tells me to generate transformer technologies. So this does actually tell me how you did it, which is fine. And using generator, fully digitizing asset tracking, spare part procurement, achieving 75K in annual savings. Again, I don't know if this is actually good because 73K is kind of like a drop in the bucket out of 40 million. So this is a bad number. Formed it as a solution. Again, bad number. Don't care. I don't care that you formed the solution. I want to know how many engineers it was. What did you do with them? Structure, defining roles and responsibility from senior managers, blue collar teams, and managing. This is good. This is a good use of numbers, right? This right here is a good use of numbers. This is a good use of numbers. This is garbage. Does not matter as much. So you did, in fact, tell me the team members across... I don't know if I saw cross-functional or not, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. You did show me that you can multitask, but you didn't really tell me the rest of this stuff. So this is entirely money-focused, and that's a problem. Again, this is well-written, and I like it. This is well-written, and I like it. This is garbage. This is garbage. And this is a good use of that, and that's all I can really say. So, what did you say? You told me no information besides this, so that's the only thing I can do to tell you. I don't know if you're applying in Iraq. I don't know if you're applying in that place or you're applying in the U.S. Just remember, if you're not authorized to work in the United States, it does not matter how good your resume is. It does not matter how your connections are. Unless you get a work authorization before you apply, you cannot work in the United States. So, let's go to the next resume. This is a resume. Obviously, it's a resume. It'd be weird if it wasn't. A resume of a software engineer intern. So, what we're looking for in a software engineer intern is different than a software engineer. So, when you pick a software engineer role, you need to pick front, back, full, or whatever the else stuff is. But an intern is an intern. So, as long as I see the basics of, well, any tech stack, so like language, so maybe like Python or C#, the library, SQL, cloud, that kind of stuff, you're good. I'm not actually looking for a ton of stuff, but I also do need to know and see the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism. Just because you are in STEM does not mean you do not work with other people, and this may be your first job, so they need to make sure you do not have a crash out. They want to make sure that if they're working with you, you can take direction and criticism. They can say, hey, software intern number 32, your code is bad, fix it. And you won't just punch through the computer and be like, rage mode, punch. So that's what they're really looking for, is that you will not make it a bad work environment. And that is why they ask these questions specifically of interns more so than full-time roles, and sometimes do in entry-level roles, is they want to make sure that when they hire you, they're not stuck with you for 3 months and you're a jerk. So they want to see that other people can handle you in the most blunt way possible. So let's find out in 20 seconds if I can find that. And go. Okay, good. Don't care about the coursework. Engineered React components with TypeScript. That's fine. I don't care about load times. Collision designers, pixel. Perfect. I don't care about that. But React, I do want. Ruby on Rails. Yeah, that's okay. Full stack. Okay, cool. So no, I could not move you forward. Because you don't really show me how you worked with other people. I will say this is fine. Like, how you wrote this is what I would be looking for, mostly. These are not bad sentences. It's just they're, not enough. So, engineered a scalable modular React component with TypeScript. That's fine. Cutting page load times by 30%. I don't care about that. That's not relevant. Collaborated with designers. What does collaborated mean? Collaborated is too broad. I do not like the word collaborated. Personally, I don't like the word leverage, but I don't hold it against people. Like, I'm not going to reject somebody if they say leveraged instead of used. It upsets me in my soul, but I'm not going to do that. But collaborated with is too broad. What does that mean, collaborated with? I went to work and collaborated with people. How? Did you meet with them weekly? Like, did you meet weekly with designers to build pixel perfect components in React from Figma mockups? And took criticism to fix their revamped legacy code when needed? I don't know. You didn't tell me. What if you just went into the office, put down at a computer, and then started hissing at people like when they talk to you? I don't know. That could be collaborated with. You did not tell me. I also will say that I think you should probably start this with it created a blank in Python, TypeScript, React, and in a CI/CD and AWS environment. That would probably be a better first sentence. That way you can kind of have all of these, and that is almost the amount of tech that you would need. You would still want SQL, which I don't see, which I would need, but beyond that, it's okay. It's just, again, I'm not looking for a reduction in processing time and decrease in operational costs, right? Like, you're an intern. You're not going to be solving world hunger. Hopefully you do. I would love that, but actually, that's a good thing. If you, as an intern, solved world hunger and you put that on your resume, I could not move you forward, because that's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for somebody to solve world hunger. I'm looking for somebody who I can say, hey, fix X, fix Y, fix this stuff, and will not fight back. I'm not justifying that that's a good thing. That's just what they're looking for, right? That's just what they're looking for. Regardless of whether it is right or wrong, they're going to move you forward if they can tell you what to do, and you're going to do it because you're an intern. So that's it. Again, minor formatting issues, but the formatting, while not the best, is not the real problem with the resume. The problem with this resume is it's entirely focused on coding. And there's nothing about like the social skills that you need at a workplace. So let's go to the next resume. This is a resume that docs themselves. Stop doxing yourselves, please. It makes it so much harder for me to review. This is a data analyst. So what are we looking for in a data analyst? It's your degree, your industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, or Tableau. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's fine. If I see it, that's good. Power BI or Looker, stakeholders, and explaining technical concepts to non-technical people, not just stakeholders. I should probably change that. How you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. MS Excel, macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and a bonus for cloud. So can I find that? I don't know. Their ratio was said that's pretty good. But again, if you dox yourself, I'm immediately suspicious of your actual ratio. Because if you did not read enough to not dox yourself, you probably did not understand what the ratio is. So let's go. SQL is good. Python is good. A little bit of AI is fine. Cloud is a bonus. That's actually pretty solid. And then I think you lose me. Yeah, there's nothing else. So I found like 4 things. So I found cloud. Again, that's a nice to have. Oh, yeah, no, I found cloud. Actually, 1 thing. Again, this doesn't count. Oh, and dashboards. Data visualization dashboards. And is that it? So 2.5, right? Cloud and visualization and... No, yeah. My brain is tired. That's it. That's all. There's like nothing here. All right. I have a master's in business analytics looking for a data analyst or business analyst role. Okay, cool. Well, you don't have what I'm looking for, right? Like, this I don't really care about. No summary. This stuff needs to be here. Second, your formatting is slightly off. Excuse me. Where's your education? I do not see it. I'm going to assume you don't have one. Maybe you do, but that is a requirement for a lot of these roles. But yeah, I don't care about half of this stuff, right? Like, I don't care about the data accuracy. I do care about this. This is an okay one. This one's okay because it tells me what you do, but that's not what I'm looking for. I don't see anything here, right? Like, this is my problem is I don't see what I'm looking for. This does not read like a data analyst resume. This reads more like, well, a data engineer. In fact, you might be a data engineer and you mistyped it. So as an example, if I'm going back to the data engineer qualifications, this is closer to what I would be looking for. But there's practically nothing as I need as a data analyst. So I don't see Python. Again, doesn't count up here. I do see PySpark, but again, they may not know. I do see Snow, so that's good. Cloud, I did see. You did say data models and lakes, so that's great. Let's see. I think you had Spark. Yeah, Spark, good. That's big data. You had the industry, which is CI/CD, so that's good. So you actually meet... and ETL, I did see out of the corner of my eyes. So you are not a data analyst. You are a data engineer. And you actually have most of what I'm looking for a data engineer. This would get completely rejected for a data analyst role, though. And then you said anything else? Yeah, so this is why you cannot create a master resume that has all your stuff in it and submit it to a job. You can create a master resume and use that as your LinkedIn profile, which is a benefit, and you should do that. But you should have your resume tailored to the job title you want, because this completely fails at a data analyst, but it's a C- data engineer resume. So yeah, this is a prime thing of why you need different resumes for different roles. Not else much to say on this. This is not a data analyst. I would reject you from most data analyst roles. I may move you forward for data engineers. You just need like how you communicate with non-tech people. But otherwise, it's mostly solid. So next, resume. This is a resume of a AI software engineer. So what are we looking for in an AI software engineer? Well, AI. AI, LLM, NLP, Python, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Cloud, NumPy, R, MATLAB, SDLC, CI/CD, DevOps, and then one of these, so like RAG or ML or LangChain /SkibidyLearn or Pandas or Agentic, and explaining stuff to non-tech folk. That is pretty important. So, can I find it in 20 seconds? I have no idea, but I want to thank you for not doxing yourself. Thank you very much. I can actually go further. So, engineer and LM assistant, RAG. Okay, that's solid. Cloud, good. Visiting microservices, blah, 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 blah. Nothing there, nothing there. Nothing, nothing, nothing. That might be industry specific. Okay, yeah, that's it. So this would not pass. So what did this person say? And I can see why. I have over 150. I'm an international student on an F1 OPT here in the U.S. seeking H1B sponsorship. Ugh, you have picked the wrong quarter to do that. If this was I'd say 3-4 months earlier, you would have a shot. I don't know how anybody on an OPT is going to get a job in this market because of the new laws that the president put in, unfortunately. It is very detrimental and is hurting a lot of people. So that's rough. That may not be a resume issue, unfortunately. There may be nothing you can do about that. Well, it is a resume issue because even if you were a U.S. citizen, I don't think I would be able to move you forward on this one. But I have a job currently, and the tech stack is good, and I'm actually the solo engineer, working on basically everything from full stack to R&D to cybersecurity to DevOps to platforms. My job is sponsoring H1B, but I'm looking for a place just in case. I will be perfectly honest with you. I would possibly suck it up. The chances of you getting another job that will sponsor you is so rough. At least when you've got your I-40, it's a little easier. But right now, because of that, you unfortunately may have to be in this environment. I would prefer AI roles, but open to core software engineering. My tech focus would be on JavaScript. So, yeah, that is unfortunately the problem. But I can at least help your resume, so when you're ready for that, you can actually get one. So, the big problem here, and I can search through your whole resume, which is great. That's why you should not dox yourself, so thank you to this person, is I found AI and LLM in the first one. That's great. Perfect. Good. Second is, where's your Python, bruh? There it is, all the way down there. No one's going to get that far down. No one's going to get that far down. In addition, your education should be at the top. You do not need your bachelor's because your master's is in the same industry. So this should be one line. You should be able to fit this in one line. This should be on maybe the second line. And then this cannot be included. So this should be 2 lines total. And again, use this formatting. It is the best formatting. Then we go up here. So Python, I did not see fast enough. That should be in the first part. TensorFlow, I did not see it. Again, all the way at the bottom here in the skills section. Guess what? Doesn't matter. Can't use anything in the skills section. Then PyTorch, I think I found. Nope, all the way at the bottom as well. So you need those stuff earlier up in here. Then we did find Cloud. That was good. So I did find Cloud almost immediately. I did like that. And let's see, did I find NumPy? No, but I did see RAG, so you kind of did this, and that's good. But where is the SDLC? No, nowhere. Where is MATLAB? MATLAB was, I don't know if I should actually keep MATLAB in there. That might have been an off one. That might have snuck in. And I don't see how you explained tech stuff to non-tech people. So you have about 50% of what I'm looking for. And unfortunately, that's it. Because you focused on, like, detection across 600 cases weekly. I don't care about that. Microservices, I could care about. With 20 specialized agents, I don't care about the 20. Why is the 20 relevant? It's not. What if they need you to make 21 agents? I don't know. Integrated EMR, I don't know what that is. To lab APIs, again, it's okay. And then this, okay, this might be industry specific, so this might be okay. Again, the problem is this is not a garbage resume, right? Like, there are definitely resumes that say this is garbage, you need to burn it and start again. This is, it's just not good. You know, you could fix it. You need to fix the formatting, but I just don't have enough. I just don't have enough to move you forward, regardless of the H-1B or not. And as somebody on an H-1B, your ratio is going to be 3 times as worse. If this resume would get you one every 50, it'll get you one every 150 because of that. And the problem is, this is probably like a 1 in 75 resume. right? Like it's a D minus, but because you're on an H1B, this will probably only get you an interview once every 225 applications. So you need to make it way better. The fact that this is YC backed is slightly better, but again, I just don't find enough to move this. It's hard to read, and I just don't have enough. That's it. That's all I can really say. There's just not enough to move you forward. You don't tell me how you also talk to the non-tech people. Remember, as an AI engineer, you may be the expert in AI. You may get hired by a company that does not know what AI can do, and you have to explain it to them. That's why that's important. So, next resume. This is a resume of kind of an SOC/red team intern. I will be perfectly frank with you. I could not find SOC or red team intern. I did find cybersecurity analyst, which I hope is at least close enough. It is not, then these are not relevant. But from what I could find, again, for internships, pretty basic. Also, teamwork, criticism is always beneficial. I can never spell criticism correctly. So what we need is MS Office. No, I'm not joking. That was in quite a lot of them. Visio, Word, Excel, Outlook, etc. Any of these, there's probably more. There's a lot of acronyms that I'm not going to even bother pronouncing. But any of those is great. Linux, Unix, Windows, SQL, Python, Git, cybersecurity, and that you can take teamwork, criticism, and all that stuff. So, can I find it? Let's see. SQL, good. Well, wait, where's your education? I do need education. I should have actually put that up. CNN, these are okay. One of these is at least useful, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. I don't see anything. So this is okay. This is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare of A, formatting, and B, content. You were probably best suited to just delete this and redo it. So I'm going to try to fix this what I can, but it should look like this, okay? Please make it look like that. It's so much easier for recruiters to read it and managers. Okay, so the education should be up at the top. Again, nothing here should be bolded like that. Then under that should be some of the certificates. I don't know if this is needed. Maybe this is needed. I don't know if this is needed. This probably is needed. Again, this is kind of tough. And then down here is, again, look, I don't care that you did this here. I need it here. Like, this is a problem, again, is this is almost a blank resume. Like, yeah, this is almost a blank resume, right? Like, this is the issue, is this, I don't see any of this except for SQL. Where's the Python? I don't know. Can I find it? Is there any Python in here at all? There it is, all the way at the bottom. Guess what? Doesn't count. Need it to be here. And then how did you work well with others? I don't see that. This is a nightmare. I don't want to keep reading this. But yeah, you don't show me what you did. Again, this is a formatting and content issue. This is where I want to see it look like. It doesn't have to be this long. That's fine. As an intern, it probably won't be. But, like, what else did you do here? What about NIST? What about ISO? What about TCP? What about IP, DNS, HTTP, SMTP? What about Python? What about Git? What about Linux? What about Windows? What about Unix? What about other stuff as cybersecurity? I don't know because you did not tell me. And yes, what about MS Office? If everybody put how they used MS Office on their resume, so many more people would get jobs. It is shocking how many jobs, even in STEM, require that. Software engineers, no, you don't need to put it. Practically everybody else, you do. So there's just nothing here for me to review. Let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of I don't know. You did not tell me. It is an unknown software engineer. So if you send me software engineer and you do not tell me what type you are, I'm going to roll a d6. This is a 6-sided die, and whatever it lands on, that's the review you get. Is it what you're going for? I don't know, but you didn't tell me. So, we're going to try this. What is the first one? It is going to be 5. So, I rolled a 5, so this is going to be a front-end engineer. That is the qualifications that we're looking for. So, I'm going to go get that up real quick. Also, I'm going to assume that it's in the United States because that's where I recruit. And this is software engineer front end. Is that right and what you wanted? You didn't tell me, and that's part of the problem. So what we're looking for a front end engineer is JavaScript, React, AngularJS, HTML, CSS, PHP, SQL, Scrum, Agile, RESTful API, SEO, Git, Docker, Jira, Node.js, Vue, Next, and a bonus for any extra language, Cloud UI, UX, SASS, not SAAS, TypeScript, and WordPress. And remember, these are bonuses. Like if you have UI UX and none of the others, it doesn't count. So away we go. Nothing here I can use. Nothing here I can use. Nothing here I can use. I don't even know where your education is. Oh, there it is at the bottom. Okay. Developed CRUD. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Tailwind. Okay, maybe I could use that. UI, so that's okay. Nothing here. Nothing here. And API. Again, I'm not looking for API. Not in the front end engineer. I did see Vue out of the... No, I didn't. That's a Vite. Yeah, so there's nothing here. This is why you're having a problem. So, what did you tell me? I am looking for an internship or associate software engineer job. I never ever get selected for internships. Yeah, this is why. I didn't even know you were looking for an intern. You did not tell me. Also, the resume that gets you an internship will not get you a full-time job, and the resume that gets you a full-time job will not get you an internship. Internships are different than other types of jobs. For an intern, well, I already reviewed that earlier in this resume, so you can follow back with that, but that's what I'm more looking for. But you did not show me that you met the stuff for an internship, nor did you show me you met the stuff for a front-end engineer, which again, you did not tell me what it was. It needs to be stack specific, but not for interns for some weird reason. So that's why you're having issues, is you did not tell me. Because remember, this doesn't count. I don't know why people do that. I did it for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, you know what? This is a bad idea. This is where it needs to be. I don't care if it's up here or if it's here. It does not matter. In fact, this entire giant section can be deleted. Gosh, I can't even do through this resume. So, and yeah, you also say up here. I don't care about that. Again, has to be in the bullet points. You have to show me how you did it and the reason and result you did it. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Also, please use this formatting. This is an absolute nightmare to read. But I do give you props for not doxing yourself, so thank you for that. Next, resume. This is maybe a embedded software engineer. This person said hardware engineer / software engineer, and I could not find a software hardware engineer. So I think this is an embedded system software engineer, but I might be incorrect. Because they at least put sort of what they could be. So that I'm not going to roll the dice for this. So I'm going to guess it's an embedded software engineer. Might not be right. So what I need is degree, C, C++, or C#, cross-functional, RTOS, ROS, ROS2, microcontrollers, microprocessors, embedded operating systems, agile, ISO, doors, ARM, Linux, test platforms, TCP, security principles, blah, 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 Python, Rust, CAN, and all this other good stuff. So can I find it in 20 seconds? Maybe. I don't know. This person did not tell me anything, and they said they had a 1 in 25, and this might be accurate because for an embedded software engineer, that's a really hot market. We actually get more than 20 seconds. We get about 40, and not a lot of people apply to it. So you probably might actually have a 1 in 25. In fact, as an embedded software engineer, if you have a couple of years of experience as one, a 1 in 25 is probably a bad ratio. You should be getting like 1 every 6. So let's check it out. All right, this is bad formatting. Hardware. No, I guess this is hardware and C. Python, okay. GUI, yeah, this is a different role. I'll be honest, I don't know what this is. This, I guess, truly is just a hardware software engineer or something. But these will look different than what I found. So I can't really help on the qualifications. And this is just going to be a for me. But formatting-wise, you can fix an awful lot. So nothing here should be bolded. This should be one line. This should be one line. And I don't care about your coursework. Doesn't matter. Experience. This should be one line, not bolded, and it should be italicized. Then you need 3 per bullet point. 3 bullets. Should be 3 per roll. Sorry, stomach is doing stuff. And then your formatting itself on the other parts, like the font is off. I don't know what this is, but you need to use this. This is how you do it. It's on my website. It's very easy. Screenshot this page. That's it. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. You can put this. You don't even need a format or a template. You can put it in like 5 minutes of work or less. It's very easy, and it's the best thing. Then we have projects. That almost opened a link. And nothing else I can use. And again, technical skill sections don't really matter. So the formatting is pretty hard to read. And there's a bunch of stuff here I imagine is not what they're looking for. Like 100 speed up and 1.2 Gbps. That's a guess. But yeah, I'm going to estimate that you did not put in enough of the information they actually needed. But because this is a pretty hot market, they will move you forward regardless for a couple of stuff. So, next, resume. This is a data analyst resume. This is I forgot what I was going to say. We are looking for your degree, the industry, which is going to change based on each one of those, and I cannot be in every industry, unfortunately. Like medical would want like HIPAA and H17, I think. Software would probably want like SDLC or something. So industry was going to change a little bit. As long as I can tell what industry you are in, we are good. SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, or anybody. Honestly, it doesn't really have to be stakeholders. How you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. MS Excel, Word, Python, multiple projects and deadlines, and a bonus for cloud. So can I find it? I don't know. Let's find out. This person did state, they're in chat right now, they say they forgot to remove this, so this will be removed in the final version, so I'm not counting that. And go. All right, Excel, okay. I don't know about the number, anesthesiology, okay. Patient root cause development, incident mapping, a little too heavy. Cloud-based platforms, no. HIPAA, maybe. Integrated AI and Python, good. MS Office and PowerPoint is solid. It's not great. So let's go with what I found, right? So first off, we found Excel, the very first thing. That's good. Where is Excel? Here. The problem is you did say macros and pivot. I don't think you should put Power Queries personally. I don't know if that's going to be one of the ones they're going to be looking for. You can just say like macros and pivot tables. So that would be nice to have Word, yeah, but whatever. To analyze, and here's the thing, I don't care about this number. This number does not matter to me. Like, what do you mean? Why does the number of 450 anesthesiology records? I don't know. I don't care. But the rest of it is fine. So to analyze anesthesiology error records, helping research identify patient root causes to accelerate development of it. And see, this is the part that I don't really need as much, is you could just say identify patient root causes. That's probably better. I don't know if the rest of this is needed. Then leveraged, again, I don't take points away for it. I just personally do not like the word leverage. Cloud is good. The problem is, they don't really mention what type of cloud, so that's okay. You say that is good to manage sensitive data while ensuring HIPAA compliance. That's fine. Implemented an AI and Python is good. AI is a bonus. It's around a lot. You also need Python or R. You don't need both. To that, and then utilized MS Office. Again, we probably could put that over here, and PowerPoint, but it's, again, that will count for this one. To deliver presentations to non-technical stakeholders and global, demonstrating the model's potential, increasing funding opportunities. This is kind of written weirdly, right? So that's kind of my problem, is there's just not a ton of it. And here's how I would kind of want this to be rewritten, and we can do more of this in the stream, which is what we're going to be doing. But instead of like utilized MS Office and PowerPoint, I just want to see like delivered presentations to our non-technical and global stakeholders to explain our model's potential, which resulted in more funding. That shows that you can talk to them. That shows you can explain the complex parts. You may want a little bit more about complex and that would take down more of them. In addition, I don't really see data visualization. Yeah, it's all the way at the bottom. That doesn't count. Do we have Tableau all the way at the no, we do not. Or if it is, I missed it because it's hard to read. Let's see. Tableau, Power BI maybe. Yeah, all the way there. It's midway through the resume is the problem. Like, again, they may not get past this stuff. So, also, this entire thing should be italicized. This entire thing should be italicized. But a bigger issue is, did I find how you did this with it? Yeah, I did not find out what you did with the data. Like, why was it important for patient root causes? Did that solve anything? I don't know. Again, you're kind of vague with it. And I am not finding SQL. And yeah, it's all the way down there. They may not get that far. So is this a terrible, no good, awful resume? No. It's not the worst. I mean, you could do a lot better, but you could do a lot worse. So I don't think this is great, and I'm gonna fix it with them off the stream. But that's it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and if you need more help off of this video, you can always join me on my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST, and rarely Saturdays, where I go over this stuff and help you more than I can in a YouTube video. And until the next time, please like, comment, and subscribe, because I'm here to get you ahead of your job search.